They are demanding that FIFA sanction the Argentina national team for displaying a banner that says the Malvinas are Argentine. And please, pay attention. This is urgent. Argentina could face scrutiny from FIFA after the tournament for celebrating, with a sign that refers to the Malvinas Islands and asserts sovereignty over the disputed territory. If it is considered a political message, it could violate FIFA regulations. The Malvinas are Argentine. Look guys, the problem is the following. FIFA does prohibit the display of political messages, and not only that. In the past, for things very similar to this, it has suspended players from official tournaments. You heard that right? Please pay attention. Risk of sanction because the Argentine national team exposed itself to possible sanctions for the Malvinas flag. FIFA prohibits the display of political, ideological, or religious messages during competitions organized by the organization. Which, by the way, I find quite hypocritical because FIFA also displays this LGBT pride thing. In fact, FIFA organized the LGBT pride match between Iran and Egypt. The governments of both Iran and Egypt opposed this. In their countries, being part of the LGBT community is prohibited and heavily persecuted. They don't tolerate that. Still, FIFA didn't care and simply said no. In this match, LGBTQ+ pride will be celebrated. So, that's obviously an ideological message. Therefore, FIFA itself doesn't follow its own rules. But honestly, I'm not surprised. We all know FIFA, right? Now here they tell us, the disciplinary code includes sanctions for players, federations, and associations when expressions are made that violate those principles. Okay? In these kinds of cases, the organization usually opens a case to evaluate the context before deciding on a possible sanction. The consequences can range from a warning to fines for the Argentine Football Association or for the players involved. It's not that simple, we'll see it in a moment. A sports suspension initially appears to be a less likely possibility and is generally reserved for cases considered especially serious or repeated. Let's see. As you know, Argentina is going to play the final against the Spanish national team. And this is not a minor issue at all, because it turns out that the Spanish national team went through something like this not long ago, just 2 years ago, after a final between Spain and England in Euro 2024. Pay attention. UEFA sanctions Morata and Rodri with a one-match ban for the chant, "Gibraltar is Spanish." The forward and the midfielder will miss the national team's debut in the Nations League on September 5th. Let's remember that Spain also reached the final of the Nations League, but they ended up losing it against Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal. Interestingly, both in Euro 2024 and in the Nations League, Spain eliminated France in the semi-finals, and the same thing happened in this incredible World Cup. So, does that mean Spain is France's bogeyman? Now, this is causing many people to demand that the players from the Argentine national team, or at least certain players, the ones who held up the sign or message saying the Falklands are Argentine, be suspended for the next match. Because basically, that's what happened with Morata and Rodri on the Spanish national team. However, there's a very important detail. The ones who suspended both Morata and Rodri were not FIFA, but UEFA. That clarification is very important. Most likely, in the end, FIFA will impose a sanction on Argentina, but it will be a financial penalty. I think that's what's going to happen because yes, they broke the laws, they broke FIFA statutes, and well, obviously there should be a sanction for the Argentine national team, but I think, if you ask me, it will end up being a financial penalty. Obviously, this is outraging a lot of people, especially those who are against the Argentine national team. And it's like, come on, let's look here. They're calling the so-called humble Messi and his Argentine thugs from Argentina with the banner, "The Falklands are Argentine." Okay. UEFA sanctioned Rodri and Morata for singing "Gibraltar is Spanish," and they missed the first match of the Nations League. Infantino will play dumb about these crooks, they say here, like always. Basically, they're saying that Infantino won't do anything and won't sanction any of these players. Honestly, I think so too, to be honest. Let's see, guys. First, because most likely what will come from FIFA is a financial penalty. Keep that in mind. FIFA usually gives a financial penalty in these kinds of cases, not a suspension. Let me remind you that it was UEFA who suspended both Morata and Rodri. That's the first point, and the second one. Because they won't suspend them since a final is coming up, they won't do it, they won't take them out because the next match is the World Cup final. That's why I think FIFA won't do anything, it's that simple. In fact, most likely, when the sanction comes, because there has to be a sanction, it will come after the World Cup maybe, and it will be a financial sanction. If you ask me, that's what I think will happen. We'll see. We'll know more in the next few hours because this news is escalating quickly. In fact, I want to show you the following here. Mate Conmo tells us. FIFA fined Argentina. No, they haven't fined them yet.
Will they fine the Argentine national team? FIFA will impose a financial penalty on Argentina for the Malvinas flag they brought to the field against England. Well, this is escalating. On social media, there are obviously a lot of anti-Argentine people crying about this. They're even asking for the team to be expelled.
No, they can't expel the Argentina team for this. At most. In the worst case scenario, in the most catastrophic scenario. For the Argentine national team, obviously it could be that they suspend the players who held the banner. That could happen, but honestly, I see it as very unlikely. In fact, we've already seen that the most likely thing is that there will be a financial penalty. Because yes, what the Argentine national team did does violate the FIFA statutes.
It's nonsense. According to the official information, this flag that said the Malvinas are Argentine was held by people in the crowd and they threw it to the players.
So yes, of course, but even so, the players shouldn't have held it like that, right?
They just showed it. They didn't bring it themselves.
Well, that's important too.
So it wouldn't be considered as an offense?
No, it is considered an offense, but please, let's keep listening.
I think what FIFA did is nonsense. Let's listen. In Egypt's match, they brought Palestinian flags.
That's very true. Egypt's coach brought out the Palestinian flag. Seriously, that happened. And then many people obviously applauded Egypt's coach and said, "Bravo, a brave man who is defending the Palestinian people." But let's remember that this breaks and violates FIFA's statutes. Therefore, I hope that Egypt's coach gets sanctioned for that. He should, right? He should, because it's not allowed to send political messages, supposedly, although we've already seen that FIFA doesn't really care about that, guys. But anyway, what do you think? Personally, I think that Argentina's national team should be sanctioned for this. Basically, because it's not allowed, supposedly, you're not allowed to display political messages. But I think it's going to be a financial sanction. Honestly, to tell the truth, it's most likely going to end up being a financial sanction. And that would make perfect sense because that's how FIFA has always handled things. Let me remind you, in Spain's case, the sanction was given by UEFA. That's why they ended up sanctioning and suspending both Rodri and Morata. But anyway, I'd like to know what you all think and what your opinions are about all this, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time.